Oh, it's a Beantown Sports Wolfcast. Oh, the VSW podcast proudly presents feature presentation featuring the hub of all four Boston sports teams, the Beantown Sports Wolfcast. Oh, it's a Beantown Sports Wolfcast. Oh, the VSW podcast proudly presents feature presentation featuring the hub of all four Boston sports teams, the Beantown Sports Wolfcast.
And welcome everyone to the Beantown Sports Wolfcast. Introducing first my right-hand man, the owner of the VSW podcast, giving me a platform to rant about Boston sports to y'all, the Versace Stoner.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy. We're here talking basketball. I can't wait. That's one of Versace's favorite sports. Used to play it a little bit back in the day. What a time, though. What a time to be a Celtics fan right now.
Especially when we're 2 wins away from hosting an 18th NBA championship.
And we're already doing something that a lot of people I just don't think was happening. You know, there was a lot of people that thought this was going to be a sweep. We proved that wrong in Game 1. Game 2, things happened. Game 3, we came back strong, though.
Absolutely. We did struggle in the third quarter. Like I said, Celtics are a great team, but it's hard for them to play all 4 quarters consistently, as the Celtics did have a tough road to get into the NBA Finals. You had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant round 1 in the Nets. You have Giannis and the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks that went to 7 games in the semifinals, and you got one of the best defensive teams, including Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now you got the veteran experience of Stephon Curry and Boston's new favorite boy, Draymond Green.
Wow. You know, what a lineup that is. This is starting to get, kind of reminiscent of the older days where you got in like a dream team getting, set up here.
But the funny part is about the Warriors and Celtics, the past 15 to 20 years have been LeBron James has been the new face of basketball, and you had all these super teams, including the Warriors signing Kevin Durant a few years ago.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's not okay.
They're all homegrown talent now. Like, this team's been made 6 years in the making by all those phenomenal draft picks.
Yes,
like
for a long. I'll be honest. Yeah, you are right. For a long time, LeBron James and Kobe Bryant both held down basketball. You know, before that, you had some other stars. You had Shaq, and then, you had Jordan. You had all these side players, and then you had Jordan, like I said, the Bulls. You've always had, decades of just superstars that were it.
Absolutely.
But right now, you're right. As things are starting to progress, I think, you're getting a lot of teams with a lot of star power.
And you got both the Warriors and Celtics are all homegrown draft picks. They didn't go out and free agent and sign guys like Jason Tatum. And a matter of fact, Danny Ainge traded the first overall pick to the Sixers, including passing on Lonzo Ball and Markelle Fultz, who everyone thought would be better than Tatum.
Really?
Boy, imagine if they didn't trade down. Danny Ainge, people had their shit on, but holy shit. Don Sweeney, take no shit idiot. As we all know, the big story about the Boston isn't just the Celtics. It's Bruins decided to part ways with Coach Bruce Cassidy a few days ago, and
any relation to Orange?
He is freshly squeezed, but he's more aggressive.
Now he's freshly out of a job.
I know, but he's gaining momentum. Don Sweeney should be out of his job. Former Bruins defenseman. He's been the worst GM. The Bruins might become the new Detroit Lions because
I don't know. I like Doc Rivers myself personally.
I know. But the thing is that before I go back into the Celtics, I want to give my thoughts. Is like, yeah, they haven't made it to the Stanley Cup, but the Bruins moved on with Claude Julien 5 years ago, and Cassidy's been doing well. He doesn't have a lot of depth besides that Pasta, Bergeron, who might be retiring, and Pasternak in the one line. They don't have, and McAvoy and defenseman, they don't have consistent depth like they did 10 years ago, and it's starting to show.
Oh, back in 2010, they were owning the ice.
Yeah, 2011 they won a cup, but now Pasternak supposedly doesn't want to be part of the Bruins if they keep Don Sweeney, and that's horrible. That means we could fall to mediocrity at worst, be the worst team in all of Boston.
You mean we'll be actually having to like listen to BRG go on about his team being better?
I know, but his team was the worst this year, and they got the number one overall pick in the NHL draft, so I gotta be prepared for that.
Yeah, you do. But
Thing
then
is,
who
but
knows?
back to the-
But then who knows? Trudeau might say no more hockey.
Huh. Maybe we're better off with.
If he finds ice to be a
But I got my.
if he finds ice to pose a risk, he'll shut it down. Believe me.
Yeah, I don't like to get into political stuff or such, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But, anyways, but back to the Celtics, shall we, bud?
Oh yeah, get on to it.
I just had to bring that up because it's another talk of Boston all week long, as the Celtics have going into the.
Well, like I was
Boston.
saying though, have you ever? There's never been in the history of sports as a coach taking on two of the city's teams. Has there?
No, especially when one team's out of the playoffs and the other's in the final.
Well, like
You
even
wouldn't
if it
think-
was opposite, imagine if like Belichick took on two different. He took on football and basketball, or if he took on hockey and football.
Yeah.
You don't see it. Yes, it's a lot of work, but if someone really knew their sports, they could pull it off.
Absolutely. Just like when Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, two of the best players on the Celtics, played their best ball at the same game, anything's possible. And Game 3 have proved that.
Oh,
There
yes.
were too many times in the playoffs where, like Game 2, and Game 1, Jason Tatum hardly got any field goals, but he had a lot of assists. But the Achilles heel from the Celtics last night is we were up as high as like 30-something points, and we almost blew it. Warriors actually took a lead once in the third quarter because the turnovers were coming back to haunt the Celtics. But our offensive rebounding by Robert Williams and Marcus Smart, Al Horford's been playing lights out for the Celtics in this finals.
Oh, it's been amazing.
Absolutely. And Game 1 started off, as you know, with Stephen Curry killing him, not missing any shots in the first half, breaking records. And he broke another record, which he made no points in the second half. So that gave the Celtics the win in the Game 1. And Game 2, they got destroyed in the second half.
Yes, Game 2 was not a good game.
And both teams have been going into TD Garden, hoping for the momentum, especially 10 plus years is a long time. The last time the Celtics won the finals at TD Garden was 2010 when they lost to Kobe Bryant and the Lakers in 7 games. The crowds was
And that was,
fired up.
yes, they were very fired up because, that is, you got to remember, one of the top rivalries in all of basketball. The Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers. You saw it all through the 80s, and it kept going on and on and on. And you had, and you know what, there was all such press about it. I used to have, before my house fire, which, believe it, was actually funny, was back in 2010. We were actually in an apartment at the time when speaking of the Bruins, when the Bruins had won that Stanley Cup. We watched it while the house was being rebuilt. But yes, like you said, the Celtics. I used to have these DVDs. I had them both. One was the Celtics. One was the best of the Lakers, because I was a big Lakers fan. And you had all sorts of celebrities coming out to these things. Jack Nicholson, huge Lakers fan, used to go to all the games, even here. He would sit front
They had
row.
to move his had to move his shooting schedule because of his Laker games.
Yep, and there was so many other just high profile celebrities in on this, on these rivalries, and it was a huge rivalry, and it still is probably to this day. I would like to see that rivalry, resurface eventually. Now that we're getting into another era, unfortunately, the passing of Kobe, LA's on to a new era, Boston's on in its new era.
And Boston has all homegrown team. That's the most amazing. But if you have enough patience, Brad Stevens moved away from coaching to the general manager, and boy, has that proved wonderful. As the Celtics did have a new coach, and he could first year could win the whole title.
Could?
Yeah, and they all love playing for him too.
Love who?
Ema, the coach of the Celtics.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing, Dre. But what they gotta be careful with is the antics of Draymond Green getting in there. He's been getting away, especially game 2, with a lot of cheap shot fouls. Very aggressive. He always tries to elbow people like Robert Williams III, and the fans, Boston fans, are starting to hate him as much as they hated Peyton Manning or A-Rod or the Sedin twins in 2011.
Yeah, but you know what? There was nothing more satisfying than seeing Peyton Manning lose and getting the Peyton Manning face. I used to love that. It used to make me laugh for hours on end after a Pats game, especially when he was with the Colts, and we would beat them, and he would just give that sad puppy dog face. I would laugh for hours. Nothing more satisfying than that. Unfortunately, we didn't have any luck with his brother, but that's a different story for a different day.
Oh, absolutely. But in other words, Klay Thompson led the Warriors a minute. I could see them benching Steph Curry towards the end of the third quarter. They're trying to get him healthy for the fourth. As Curry was 12 for 22 in the field goal attempts, and he had 6 3-pointers within 31 points, the highest out of anybody in the night. But but having Draymond Green eject himself, the fans were swearing at him, and there was a tweet posted by Draymond Green and his wife. They were whining about how disrespectful Boston is, how they have children, they shouldn't be posting that. And Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports.
What were they doing? Wait, what were they doing?
I'm gonna get up Dave Portnoy's tweet right now.
I'm just
about
saying.
what Draymond Green's wife said.
Yeah, but I mean, what were the fans doing?
They were chanting, "Remember, fuck you, Draymond."
Oh well, I mean, have they never been to a wrestling show? These people.
Yeah,
Lucky,
I posted that earlier.
I mean, what the hell? Lucky it wasn't Matt Cardona. They threw freaking trash at his head, full bottles, and full beer cans. They'll tell you to fuck yourself. That's normal chance.
Heels in the Roddy Piper did too in the old days.
You know what? If she's too soft to go to these sports games in Boston, then stay the fuck home.
Exactly. And here's the quote from what she posted on her Instagram, the wife of Draymond Green, as you will. And I quote, "Tough loss tonight, but in no way, shape, or form should fans be allowed to chant obscenities at players. Are they not human? There's someone standing at your job saying off-the-wall things to you. The NBA has the audacity to have a whole code of conduct card at every seat about fans and their behavior, and how they could be ejected from a game not finished or banned, but a whole crowd section, numerous people get to chant F bleep bleep KU Draymond, tag or call him a bitch or MF and nothing. Like, that's okay. Warriors fans would never. My kids at the game tonight wearing that mess. Very disgusting of you Celtics fans. Just shameful. People get drunk and passionate in this area.
I don't care about that. Fuck you, Draymond is right. You know what? I'm sorry. I just totally agree. First of all, if it's not something, geared towards somebody's race, gender, their sexual, their religious beliefs, their sexuality, any of that, and it's just a
Exactly.
basic fuck you, then it's fine, dude. I mean, they're not throwing racial slurs around. They're not, targeting people here by their race. And I can't say I don't fully support that. You know how much these tickets cost?
Exactly.
If you
Cheapest
can't, if
ticket to get in was 700.
700 and you can't have your freedom of speech, and I'm sorry, I guess this lady doesn't know retail either, because you go to retail, your boss will tell you to go fuck yourself, the customers will tell you to go fuck yourself, people all day will tell you to go fuck yourself. I used to
Exactly.
work at fucking Whole Foods, Amazon. My boss used to hound me for drugs. He used to come up to me. You have any you have any weed? You have any of this? You have any of that? You think you could ask your doctor for this? Can you do this? Can you have your anxiety meds? Get the hell out of here, lady. You don't know how lucky you have it. Take your $1 million payday in the NBA and just close your ears for a couple of fuck yous. Shit. And look
Absolutely.
how
And
much these people are getting paid.
yeah, and how much are the fans getting paid to say that? They cost a whole mortgage and an arm and a leg to get there. And they can't say that?
They should,
Jesus, she's never been to a wrestling show.
nah, she never seen Sammy Guevara come out. And
Uh,
I think they're saying worse things now than "fuck you, Sammy."
yeah, it's something that probably isn't who's going to win the Celtics. Because there's no other reason why. They're the balls.
Oh yeah, you got
They're
to
the
do
balls.
that. And then I hope somebody makes a T-shirt out of it. If they don't, we will. It'll say "fuck you" on it.
Well, Dave Portnoy Barstool wrote he wanted to be nice. Draymond is a jerk face.
I'll make a "fuck you" Draymond fucking shirt and put it up and sell it. All proceeds go to freaking. We'll give it
But
something.
yet, that whole Warriors fan base in the beginning of the year threw stuff at the great Charles Barkley, too. So, and these people think we're classless. Come on.
Get the fuck out of here. Where were they? Well, I mean, where'd you say earlier this year?
Yeah, and there's
Well, if I had been in lockdown for 2 years straight, I might be throwing stuff too at Charles Barkley. Shit.
and they swore at they threw stuff at LeBron
Well, they were
5 years ago in the finals.
they were caged over there. I mean, they weren't able to do a lot. But uh, it's sports, okay? This isn't something new. Sports fans are rowdy. It's supposed to be rowdy. It's a rowdy sport. Basketball. Okay, maybe it's not as rowdy as football or hockey, basketball, but it's still a rowdy sport. Yeah, it's no contact. It's still though, and if you get out of the NBA and you get onto like street basketball and all of that, it's a whole other culture. And yeah, there's going to be all sorts of language you're not going to like. You
Exactly.
got to get over yourself about swears. Like I said, had there been racial slurs being thrown or chants about someone's sexuality, I can never condone that. I would everybody should be banned and
It's
thrown out
like
in
when they
that
said
case.
that to the Orioles player a few years ago. That
Well,
was
even when
horrible.
we were at that
Some of
show
them.
in Maine and I heard something that he say something when MSP was playing, whoever that fan was, that should be ejected, gone. Out of there.
Exactly.
Bye. See ya. But just a straight F you chant, laugh about it or freaking take it. But if it bothers you that much, shit. I mean, you're a little thin skinned. People
Uh,
called you trash.
Dude, people called me the R word for years, and
Dude,
I'm
we were
still here.
called the R word recently.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Not even
And
that. And then, like I said, literally they called us trash. We've been called all sorts of names. You gotta have kind of a thick skin for any kind of public life. But
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he should have made the tweet. Maybe it wasn't really right of her to do it.
Yeah,
What's he
exactly.
think
Well, he
about
did.
it? Well, what's he think about it? I mean, does it
Well,
offend
he
him?
did at the press conference after the game, saying how bad it was in front of his kids and everything. And
I
he's
get
the one who
that.
said,
Okay, I get that. I understand that. I'm a parent. I wouldn't want swearing in front of my kids because they're parents. They're gonna repeat it. But at the same time, I honestly don't know if I was an NBA player that if I would be bringing my kids to the playoffs unless they were old enough like that. I just don't think I would put them in that
Like I
predicament.
like I would never take my kid to a soccer game if I had a kid soccer or playoff game till they were at least like 10.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think maybe they would be in the hotel with whoever, watching the game. Because, the audio and TV, I don't think picks up a lot of the chants. And they can edit that. But I don't know if I would throw them in that predicament, especially with, COVID still going around and all that. I don't think I would. But that's, again, personal choice preference. I get it, though, as a parent swearing and all of that.
And
But, I mean, did he pull a full logs? I don't feel comfortable playing here because they're using bad language. Wolfie, I
seriously.
mean, come on. What is this shit? Grow
Like,
up.
plus, they play in a town where the Raiders and 49ers can't play each other in the preseason anymore. Granted, the Raiders are in Vegas instead of Oakland because the fans were swearing and fighting with each other, throwing beer cans
Oh,
at each other.
they'll shoot at each other over there. It's rowdy
They
as hell.
they did.
They do. It's fucking crazy down there.
And they
I won't go to West Coast sporting games.
yeah, and like here's an interesting positive statistic. The Celtics did something that hasn't been done since 1984. Where you got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Marcus Smart. They're the first trio to have 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in the finals game since '84. With the Lakers for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the great Magic Johnson, and Michael Cooper. So that was another record-breaking performance.
Oh,
As the
great.
crowd was rowdy last night. Holy
Oh
shit.
yeah, they were fired up like Piper himself. I mean, it was nuts. But I mean, wouldn't you be, Wolf? I mean, wouldn't you be? I
Oh
mean,
my God!
some of these
People
kids.
gotta pay their dues and get us there tomorrow night.
Oh man, I wish. I wish
Or
if
Thursday
people
for
did
Game
pay what
6.
they owed us, yeah, we would be there live. Instead, they want more,
Exactly.
more, 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 more.
And stress.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, Robert Kraft was there last night at the post game too. He's been him and Belichick were there. You got Dave Portnoy, the great owner of Barstool Sports. Guy Fieri of Food Network was there. Charlie McAvoy.
I
of the
thought you were
Bruins
gonna
was
say our friend Dave Fournier. I was like, him too? Shit.
there. I don't think he could pay that much.
I don't know, but I wish we could get some of our like wrestling buddies together or like whatever it is and like that also like sports and maybe rent out a box or something.
So I'd love to do that, honestly. Because next year I really want to take my Wolfcast to the next level.
And to get to the next level, we got to take it to the actual sporting event. I mean,
Now that I know how to take it to the next level and be consistent, now that we have Omelet Arcade to back up in case of technical issues, I can make it work now,
yeah, exactly.
And I loved the performance. They may have had a terrible third quarter, but they tore it apart. Tatum was amazing. How Horford played lights out. And Jordan Poole was one of the great bench players, one of the great free throw shooters. He may have missed one for the Warriors last night, but he was someone that could catch. If Curry wasn't making the shots, he was. And you don't forget about Klay Thompson. They can't get focused on Draymond Green's antics, the Celtics, and it proved they closed them out. Once he was out of the game, they ran away with this whole game with a 116-100 point victory.
Amazing to say, Wolf.
2-1, 2 wins away from hosting an 18th title.
And what do we got? One more game at home, and then we go to California
on Monday. Yep.
Yeah. Worst
Absolutely.
case, if we win tomorrow, worst case scenario is Game 7 back in Boston, is it?
Game 6 would be in Boston on Thursday.
And then if worst came to worst, Game 7.
Father's Day. Game
Which
7 would be Father's Day.
Yeah, stack it up against GCW. Why not?
It's
right?
after GCW, though.
Yeah, but
be
by
8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, but by the time you get out of there and everything.
Yeah, of course.
You know how that goes. But, again, we'll see what happens. I don't know. This is going to be a good game. I think everybody's fired up. I think Boston's fired up. And that can, like I said,
Absolutely.
make the difference.
And the
Um,
fans are going to be even more riled up because of the Draymond Green and his wife's comments.
oh,
They're going
yeah.
to
I
be
mean, to be honest with you, there's
insane.
going to be Boston fans that are going to take it to the next level now and make it even worse for him. He probably should have just been quiet about it until after the playoffs because there's going to be people doing it even more. And if the NBA starts kicking out fans for saying fuck you, shame on them. These people are paying over, hundreds and hundreds, some of them over thousands of dollars for tickets to this show. If you can't throw some, f bombs down at a sporting event, then I mean, what is this? What's next? You gonna stop serving alcohol?
Yeah.
Want to make it a dry show too?
Fuck you.
Let's get rid of the
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the alcohol. Let's not even do night games anymore. Let's do afternoon games.
Let's do 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday.
Yeah, please, so we can at least have good
Mhm.
wrestling back on, the weekends and Friday nights. Leave that to wrestling events where you can go chant whatever the freak you want, basically. And you know what? Guess what? The wrestler will turn around, tell you to go F yourself, tell you that your team sucks, stomp on your hat, and
But
then
if
go
he
about
calls,
their business, and they won't even remember you the next day. They're not going to write a
unless
tweet about you, that's for sure.
unless they see a Ric Flair joke, then they'll call you trash.
Well, then they'll just call you trash, but, I mean, that's only half. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're trash now. We're trashy people.
Exactly. Gotta embrace it.
You know what? We have to embrace it. I mean, trash TV makes a lot of money, right? What was it,
Yeah.
Jerry Springer?
And
All that
Guy
stuff.
Fi- and
Made
Guy Fieri's creating trash can nachos to buy. So
But are they copywritten already as walking tacos by NCW?
yeah, who knows?
But like I said, trashy TV work. Maybe we start to do trashy podcasting.
Exactly. Get into that industry.
Start getting some dirt. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a great game. What is your prediction? I want to hear it.
My prediction tomorrow is I think the crowd will be monstrous. I think Jason Tatum has a 40-point game. I'm going making a bold prediction, and I think the Celtics will be up 3-1. Do I think they'll win it in five? Probably not, but I think the Celtics are going to be so motivated to win another one at home. And Stephen Curry did get hurt. He played through an injury last night, and he's not going to be 100%, and I know he's going to play. He's tough.
Is he tough like Cody Rhodes tough though?
I don't know. We'll remain to
I mean
find out.
that was an injury, and he wrestled through that. I knew a
Yeah,
guy. I mean, I knew a guy that slipped on a bus the day before and couldn't perform his match. This dude comes in with a ripped um, pec or whatever he did, and he destroys it.
absolutely. He's a two-time NBA MVP too. Curry. He did lead the team, the Warriors and the Celtics, with 31 points, even though it wasn't enough for his team to get the win. But Marcus Smart also injured himself when they played the Warriors
Is
in the
his name
regular
really
season.
Marcus Smart?
Yeah, he's
That's
been a
hilarious.
difference maker. He's a great rebounder for the Celtics. We all love when he plays. Obviously, Robert Williams the third too.
Marcus
been
Smart.
amazing.
They should call him Marcus Smart Sterling.
Ha ha ha. But you do have three good quarters the Celtics are known for. But Golden State has owned them in the third quarter. But they got to play very differently in the third quarter. They got to close out games. That's what the Celtics need to do to win tomorrow. Keep rebounding. Make Curry take his shots. Make him get a few bets. So he has to pass it to Draymond Green, who's going to be so distracted. And make sure you double guard Klay Thompson, even if you have to get someone on the bench to guard him.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's going to be a good plan there. I mean, I would have to say. I mean, like I said, a lot of it's gonna be the Boston momentum and what we got going on in our fans and everything. And I think that tweet and all that whole thing, I think that's only gonna fuel fans to even do more. It's gonna it's gonna fuel the players.
And I knew we were going to win last night because a big statistic this year: Celtics are 6-0 in the postseason after a postseason loss.
You know,
So they
they
haven't
they
lost
know how
back
to
to back.
they don't know and they know how to rally up and they know how to change their mistakes that they made. And I have a good feeling about it this year. Could be wrong. I don't know if they're gonna do it in five, six, seven. I mean, 6 or 7. I don't know. You know what they can do, but I do think they might pull it off. It's my opinion.
I definitely do think so too, especially if Curry's not 100%.
With
That's
an
huge.
yeah, unfortunately, injuries can make a big difference. I hate to say it. I never like to get happy when there's an injury on another team, but it does make a difference. I mean,
That's,
have had
yeah,
Brady had
Robert
Brady
Williams.
had Brady. You know, we've seen Brady not play Super Bowls 100%, and guess what? We didn't win rings that year either. So they make a difference.
Absolutely. And Marcus Smart and Robert Williams, our best defenders, have been playing with injuries all postseason long. And they're still fighting it, you know?
Yep.
Even Tatum's fighting a finger injury right now. He may not show it because he's that good, but
It's not easy. It's not easy to save.
not at all for such. Not at all. But boy, did they Celtics side. They go up 3-1, the people are going to celebrate like they won the finals.
Oh yeah, I mean that would be a great victory for us, and
I
I
hope.
think it would be great momentum going, into the next games if we were up like that. I mean, it gives a good buffer point.
And being up 3-1 as opposed to tied 2-2 makes a huge difference.
It does.
Because regardless, they'll be playing Monday against. We will recap and preview tomorrow night game this weekend, folks. So go Celtics, all about a team. As Paul Pierce has said, anything's possible. The truth.
Sure is.
This Sable will be signing off shortly.
And I'll be going myself right about now. So everybody tune in. Like I said, if you want, you can check out what's going on Twitch, and some of those videos will be posted up on YouTube tomorrow night, and tomorrow actually almost all day. The Quarry. We'll be playing that day one. So check
Ooh.
that out. Survival horror game. Huge cast. A lot of familiar actors. It's like a Hollywood masterpiece. It's gonna be amazing. Can't wait for that. Check it all out here at the VSW podcast.
Check it
Versace
out.
Stoner signing out. Take it over, Disable Wolf.
All right, folks. Before I sign off, I want to let you know thank you all for listening. I will make my Wolfcast better. We're going to get into more consistency later this summer, right after the NBA Finals, regardless if the Celtics win it or not. We will go over the Red Sox every other week. And then starting in September, I'll do twice a week. Once on Thursday, previewing the Patriots, talking about the other teams. And every Sunday night, we'll be recapping the Patriots if they play on Sunday. So the Wolfcast will be swinging in full consistent force soon. The Sables.